Hey, good morning, team. It is Tuesday, January 30th. I'm Amy Corr. Here I am with Kevin Van Eck, and we are excited for a great coffee episode today. I actually am going to shock all of you. Get ready. I was reading a really great quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson in my free time. But it was something that I saw, and actually somebody then put it into real estate context, but I loved it. And bear with me. The quote is, "The law of nature is do the thing, and you shall have the power. But they who do not the thing have not the power." And I know that's very maybe cryptic for some of you. For me, it took a little bit. But as I started thinking about it, it breaks down to this. If you do the thing, you're going to have the power. And so that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode, because we want to talk about taking action, doing the thing, and you having the power to take your business to the next level. You guys ready?
I can't wait for more poetry. I hope we get more poetry during this, but it's a good topic.
2024.
It's a good topic, everybody.
Yes. All right. Grab your coffee. We're going to jump into the next episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
That's right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Amy. All right. So let's poetry slam is over for the moment.
Are you impressed?
Let's talk about. I am. Thank you.
I tell you sometimes I don't even read. So this is amazing. Not just reading, but poetry.
You do audiobooks. So I'll give you credit there because that's the same. Poetry, we don't hear from you that often. Inspiring. So
and you know what this can go into?
Where?
A platitude.
On
my wall.
Okay, don't get it yourself.
Okay, birthday gift.
This will be a gift, yes, coming up 2024. Big plaque. All right, so with this, so let's move past the poetry part, but you're right. We've talked about what? Inventory. So far this year, we've talked about interest rates. We've talked about
supply.
All these different things. Right, so with that, you can't control that, but you can control what? Your actions. So the only way that you're going to get power, the only way you're going to get momentum, the only way you're going to be able to really move things forward towards your goals that you set is by actually doing something. And we did this big series a number of years ago called Do It Now.
Yes.
And it was full of exactly what to do. But that's it. If someone did those things, or even a percentage of those action items, they saw success that year.
Yeah.
And so that's today, we have three things, right? Yeah. We have three things we're going to talk about where we can take action and have the power.
Yes, and to not overthink it, right?
Yes.
Taking a page from the book Mel Robbins had, which is your 5-second rule, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it, just taking action. So we do. We didn't go crazy, but we kind of picked three things. I think right now we are feeling like if we were, moving forward in business today, this is what we would be doing. And the first thing that I want to touch on is making contact with your sphere, but with really valuable information right now. So here's the thing. It isn't hey, I'm just calling to check in. Hey, I'm just calling to say Happy New Year. New Year's over. We are moving on. It's January 30th, right? It's time to really start figuring out what are people doing. And, I think why I feel such a sense of urgency for this, particularly this year, is that I'm already talking to agents right now who are saying that their pipeline is hopping. It's moving much faster, and that the consumer right now is really trying to make decisions early. We know it's an election year, and I think a lot of people that I'm talking to are saying that people are wanting to get decisions and things done in the first half of the year, given the fact that there's going to be a little bit of uncertainty and some stuff going on second half. So, the thing about that as an agent is you've got to reach out, and there's a lot of people that need the information. They need to know, as a renter, is this a good time to consider maybe becoming a homeowner? Rates were high, but they're being adjusted right now, right? So what information, what can somebody be responding and getting out in front of their clients right now? Lots of people don't even know how much equity they have in their property. If suddenly somebody knew that they had $500,000 worth of equity, is that information that would make them change their mindset in January right now and decide, wow, this might be the year for opportunity. So I think the best thing that we can do is not overthink it, keep the data simple, keep it direct, keep it simple enough where you're dangling a carrot so that they have to call you or reach out and say, can you tell me more?
Right.
I saw you sent me this equity report showing me, how much we could sell for and how much we have. Can we talk more? That's the greatest thing that you can do. So as agents right now, I think the action we can take is outreach, getting in front of our prospects, getting a pipeline full, and making sure that we don't miss out, because the one thing I'm going to say is that they're going to have a conversation with somebody. And if you are not in front of them, you are not going to be one of the people in the room.
That's right. That's right. No, I think it's good. I mean, who responds to a just checking in?
Yeah.
I'm here if you need me. Well, they're not going to reach out. That's not valuable, right? That doesn't inspire them into your expertise. So what
Or
you're
really
saying
ask
is,
for a response, right?
Zero.
To do something or make
Nobody-
any kind of decisions.
right, exactly. Can I be helpful? Not until they need you, but you're also not delivering something that's inspiring for them to reach
That
out.
changes their mind that
Yes.
maybe, oh, we weren't considering this, but now the information you gave me has changed our perspective.
Yeah, and it's not about convincing someone,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it is about giving them the information to make the decision and determine if the time's right.
Yeah, they're either
So-
ready or they're not.
That's right. All right, so number 2, I think the thing that we would be doing, at least for myself, is really focusing on my schedule and being prepared and understanding, okay, what am I doing day to day? And it doesn't mean this hard line, from 8 to 8:15, from 8:15 to 8:30, all the way through the day necessarily. But time blocking, understanding what I'm doing when I go to sleep on Sunday night, what I'm going to be doing first thing Monday morning.
Right.
And I know this happens to everybody where, we some fire that we need to put out happens in the morning, but because we weren't prepared for the rest of the day, that fire sets off all sorts of catastrophic events and conversations or
Yeah.
missed deadlines or late appointments for that entire day because we didn't have certain times blocked out. So I think I would really focus on that. And I am doing it myself this year. Last year, I blew it with my morning routine in terms of working out and making sure I got the fitness in. And it showed.
Are we back on the boot
We're back-
camp?
we're
The
back.
boot camps, Peloton boot camps, people.
Yeah, check my calendar. We're back on if you follow me, yes, you'll see a lot of blue dots. But yeah, so I'm back. But that was a challenge. That was something I really had to focus on. So I am doing it too. But it's also with making sure that we are setting ourselves up for success with, like you said, keeping it simple, not making it overcomplicated, but understanding what the actions are, what we are going to do to make sure to move our business forward.
Yeah, because I think you always have to have certain fundamental things in your schedule every week. And if you don't have it planned,
Right.
it's not going to happen. And we become those Pop-Tart agents, as they say. Or I feel like it's more, instead of you running your business is running you.
That's it.
So really great advice. And, I'll be honest, I'm kind of getting back into a schedule too. I always think it's January. Does it for all of us. The real trick is call me in March and see how I'm doing.
Right. Things can change very quickly.
Yeah, but we try,
Yes.
But that's the thing, you fall off the wagon, get back on, and get back on that Peloton again.
That's right.
It'll always be there for you, Amy. That's what I tell myself. All right, the third thing, and I think this is great. So in December, we all did business planning, right? Hopefully, you all put your business plan together, and we probably put on the list some of the things we want to do new this year.
Right.
And then sometimes we laundry list. We do put too many things down, and then we become overwhelmed, and we do what? Nothing.
We stop.
We don't do anything.
Right.
We end up not getting to any of these. So here's what I want to ask all of you. You've all put something down new that you want to do in your business that if you do it may change the trajectory. I want you to pick it and do it. Not all of them, just one thing. For example, maybe it's social media. You want to do more in social media. Don't go crazy. Don't say I have to post every single day. That's a setup for failure right there. But what you can do is use that schedule that Kevin just encouraged you to put together. And maybe it's Mondays at 9, I do a post. One post on Mondays, once a week.
Keep it simple.
That's how I'm going to start. One post so people know I'm alive on social media.
Yes.
Once you get that down a few weeks in, then I'm going to do Wednesdays, Monday and Wednesdays, 2 posts, right? But I want you to think about what is it that you want to put into place this year that you haven't yet. Simple, easy, just do it. But I can guarantee if you do that, it's going to change the trajectory, right? You throw it out into the universe, somebody's got to respond. Somebody's going to see that social post.
That's right.
No matter how good or bad it is.
Yes. It's sort of like, what did we do? We went through a program called Tiny Habits.
Yes.
Right? There's a book, and we talked with a couple of coaches about it, but Tiny Habits, it's starting something really small and then expanding upon it instead of starting with a laundry list like you're talking about.
Yeah. So
It's more sustainable than, and I think that working out, let's go back to that. Initially when you need to get back to it, that's when you start planning for 90-minute or 2-hour workouts.
Totally.
You're like, I'm going to burn 4,000 calories today.
And then you do it one day and then you can't move. So then you can't work out for like 5 days until your body recovers, right?
And then you don't work out for 6 months. So
Totally. And then here we are in June.
Yeah, right. So I think, but great point on keeping it simple. And I think so these 3 reminders, I think, are really good ones when, to sum it up. Number 1 is to make sure that we are focused on, I'm going to refer back to my notes for number 1.
Yeah, make contact.
Because I just want to make sure it's
With
making contact
valuable
with
information.
That's it. Not just a check-in. And then number 2, making sure you get your schedule together, right?
Yep.
And then I think the third piece, which you just talked about, which is really important, is keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try and do everything.
Yeah, but pick one thing, because you
Yeah.
all wrote down something new
One thing.
you want to do this year. So pick it
Yeah.
and do it. All right, 3 great pieces of advice, if I do say so myself.
We've done it again, Amy.
Yes. All right. Well, we hope you found these 3 ideas, these thoughts helpful for you as you are moving into this new year. We want you to make it a great Tuesday. We're going to look forward to seeing you next week. But remember, until then, you know what we're going to say. You got this.